Okay, good.
We're going to call this Facilities Committee meeting of Wednesday, December 3rd at 4 p.m. to order. Noting the presence of all committee members, Adriana, Brad, and Ashley Belts. Noting there is no public comment, we will move to the elementary school window project.
All right, I have made you a copy. You guys heard the first presentation last week, 2 weeks ago, from the one company. So this is GRP's presentation. And then the financials are the very last page. This is Mr. Scott Engstrom. You have met him before. GRP is the company that did the HVAC project at all 3 buildings. So take it away, Scott. Go for it.
Just roll right into it.
Roll right into it.
All right. Well, I think, has everybody had this? Has everybody read it? If you want me to present anything, I will gladly sit here and present anything, but I guess for me personally, it's more an opportunity for question and answer, to talk about, how this kind of all started, and then we go from there and answer any questions that you might have. Originally, because we have done work for you in the past, Jack asked us to come out and take a look at the windows. We just looked at the windows, gave you guys a number for just the windows. But then since then, I think there's been some evaluations that have been done by other companies, by us as well. Ultimately, you have a problem with water coming into the building. The windows, yes, they are what they are. They don't look great compared to every other window in that building. These are your worst window areas. But on top of that, you've got a leaking situation. So what we are proposing is, windows and call it roof work is to prevent the leaking situation. And then we had 2 other items that really just had to do with tuck pointing because we had a tuck pointer here looking at it. So I'd like to just start with the windows and see if you had any questions on the windows.
That would be going, we Dr. Gam kind of talked for you a little bit at our last meeting.
All
So
right.
we have some clarity, but I'll just double check that the windows we're getting, they are going to be bigger than the current ones to take
Yes.
up the wooden area spot, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they go the whole length,
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute because I think that's a good question. Our goal is to match the windows that you already have on the first floor because you guys already have new windows there. Now, if you look on page 2 of the document that you have, the way that your drop ceiling works, you've got, obviously, exterior, we can talk about what that looks like, and that's with the wood, the plywood. But on the interior, you see how you've got a drop ceiling that comes there, and then you've got also wood paneling that's on the inside? So that drop ceiling is actually dropping lower than the actual glass from the outside if you were to be outside, inside, outside, inside. Is this making sense what I'm trying to describe?
Yeah.
So we can do a couple different things. We think what would be your best option is, most people like as much glass as they can possibly get. So that we would want to go glass where that paneling is on the inside and align that with where your drop ceiling is. And then from there up, going with an insulated panel above that. Does that make sense? So on the outside, you would still see an insulated panel, but it would be higher than the panel that you're seeing there. Is this making sense what I'm saying? Now, if you wanted all glass, we could do all glass, but essentially you would have glass that is basically lightening up the top part of a drop ceiling. Because it would have to be, because the way the drop ceiling would come across, we'd have to come up and over. Does that make sense? So you're not really getting the light from the top, so you can go with an insulated panel there. It doesn't matter to me either way that you go, an insulated panel or glass. The R value is very similar. Pricing is very similar to where it's not going to really change at all. So,
Okay, so I guess maybe I'm a little confused. So they're gonna go glass all the way on the outside, right?
Inside.
can I walk them towards?
I see exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so this would all be glass through here.
Yeah, right.
But when you get to here, like if you were to envision this, that drop ceiling is here.
Okay, so what are you gonna, okay, that's what I figured.
Yep,
But
so
what are you guys
here-
gonna do on the top, on the
An
outside?
insulated panel.
Are you talking
Okay.
So you have a break, and if you look at the lower ones, you've got, I believe, if I remember, an insulated panel on the top and the lower.
Anyway, we can rate.
So how are we gonna keep that from getting weathered like that wood is?
Oh,
It'll be a different material,
It's a
wouldn't it?
different material, it's meant to go in, it's
Okay.
not a piece of wood, yeah, we do, you have that. Don't you already have that on this building? You've got an insulated panel on the top of this building.
Is it the top or the bottom, the insulated panel?
Yeah, I would say I've never done I've done maybe 2 schools of, 50 plus different schools of windows that don't have some sort of insulated panel that's on And it's designed, it's meant to be that, it's similar to like, flashing. It's got that same, like, it might fade a little bit from the sun, but it's not really fading because of the way it's on there.
Now, since that drop ceiling kind of goes all the way to the window, when you're replacing all of that, is any of that getting replaced? Like any of the ceiling, I know you have to use drywall, because anywhere the paneling is either gonna be window or drywall, right?
Yep.
Will you have to do anything with that ceiling,
With the drop
since it
ceiling,
lines
yeah.
up against it?
We've got to pull back the drop ceiling to be able to get to it,
Yeah.
but then we're gonna have to tie the drop ceiling back into this so that it does look correct. And that's that number that's in there in package C, if you,
Yeah.
or package B, sorry. Existing ceilings and wood paneling with all walls rework.
Okay. Because that's why I was wondering, I was like, well, if we're removing the ceiling anyway, could we just raise it? But if you weren't planning, that's why I wanted to differentiate.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
just like kind of taking it down, and if anything gets messed up when you take it down, you're replacing? Or
Correct.
are we replacing?
Yeah, you don't want to replace the whole,
Okay.
you could replace the whole ceiling if you wanted to, but then we'd have to actually tear it down from the entire classroom, and it's gonna get a lot more expensive
Okay.
to do it that way.
That's what I wanted to verify.
Yeah.
Because it just said that, and I was like, I wouldn't think it was that, but you were talking about
Yeah,
needing,
no, it's gonna be tied
needing
back in so
the,
it looks clean and
Okay.
appropriately to be tied back into it. And I mentioned this to Jack, and I think that number's a little high, but I know that number is solid because the one thing that we have that most companies don't have is, like, we have carpenters on staff. So we actually have a carpenter that can do this work. So if you
How'd
can
you
do
do
this
it?
work and material doesn't get broken, we'll just reuse it, then we would just reduce the cost to you.
Okay.
Now, if the material breaks as we're pulling it back and more ceiling tiles break, then we know that we've got enough to cover all the ceiling tiles. Literally, if we were to break every last one of them type thing is what I would think about.
and then, I have a question about tuck pointing. Are we there yet, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to move from, because you were like, let's talk about windows, and I'm like, I have this question.
It's cold outside, we
Yeah.
all want to get home, let's keep this going.
So you had put the tuck pointing for the south, the south wall, the south courtyard and stuff, you said south side?
Yeah.
Only?
Yes.
Did you look at the entire building and that's what you kind of deem really just needs it, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you look at page 7 there, where it's looking, page 6 and 7 is where the tuck pointing gets talked about, with the south wall and the parapet. 7 and 8, sorry, might be 7 and 8. Yeah, 7 and 8. So 7, you see how you've got the white coming through?
Uh-huh.
That's a sign that moisture got behind it, and it's pushing basically, essentially back out against, and that's white stuff that's coming out in the water
Okay.
situation. So that's why that was pointed out there. And then you've got the mortar joint there on those windows, which these aren't even the windows you're asking us to look
Yeah.
at. It's just because we looked at everything, that you can see where you're getting some gapping and some things there. So that's where that would be. The area where your windows are, we don't believe that that's where the water is coming in due to tuck pointing. It's coming in our opinion, due to the roof, which does involve bricks, so you could call it tuck pointing, but ultimately we call it a roofing problem.
Okay.
And that was tough point, hopefully I answered that, and I'll go to Russ whenever you want.
Yeah.
Can I ask, you? So this picture on 7,
Yeah,
that is the west wall, right? That leads all the way up to that, the second, I call it the second floor roof now, the third floor roof, however you want to look at it. That's that massive wall, right?
it's the south side.
South. Oh, so you're, basically you're standing on the fire escape and taking a picture up?
That sounds right, because I'm very directionally challenged, so that's.
Softball field's on, no, south side is,
South side.
I'm thinking north, south side is where you have all the glass paneling, or not paneling, but glass brick, you're not gonna have that much exposure to the
Yeah, I
brick.
think
This has
this
gotta be
is-
the north side. Right?
South side.
I think it's the west side.
I think it's the west side.
I think you were right.
So
the first time with the
softball's
west
the north
side.
It would
side.
be west, yeah.
The west side.
Softball.
I think it's the,
north.
I think it's the west side.
Because the north side would be the new.
Just tell me what direction.
That's north.
The north would be the new addition.
Yeah, the fourth,
north
fifth
faces the
grade,
park.
that's north. The softball field, Miller Street, that's
Okay.
north.
Yeah.
Well, in case we're all directionally challenged, even my engineers that did this is the wall that's. is the
Okay,
only
that's the
issue.
wall that's messed
the
up.
wall
Yeah, that's
messed
the
up.
wall that we're recommending you
And if we were
fix.
to walk out there, we'll see this white.
And, correct, is this part of the C, the coping, or is this an additional, or is this part of
That's
D?
additional,
D.
that would be part of
Or E.
package, D,
Okay,
and E.
because I believe,
Yeah.
I think this is the west wall,
By the parking lot.
by the parking lot, by the
Creatures.
teacher's lot.
Okay.
Because that's the only place I have that much brick exposed without window.
Okay.
It's very possible directionally challenged people shouldn't be putting Southwest East.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
Facing softball field, that's what.
Or just put the photo, this wall,
Yeah.
this
Me too,
wall.
I'm like picturing the softball's got all the glass, the
so-
south has the name of the school. the kindergarten.
But out of all,
This is the-
Irregardless,
those,
Yeah.
this is what this is the wall we need to
Yeah.
fix.
but when you looked, those were the only issues you found.
Yes.
The west end.
Wall.
So it doesn't all, because that was kind of a big discrepancy we had, was like everything tuck pointing and coved and whatever
No.
versus just this.
Because obviously there's no windows in this picture, when you say the tuck point isn't the issue with the windows, it's because there's not windows to cause issues. But if you go to the other side of the building where
Where
there
you
are
have the water
windows,
issue,
Yeah.
yes.
you're saying you call it a roofing issue, it's more a coping, roofing, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's stuff in there, which I think the pictures help represent that pretty well on page 5.
Gotcha, okay.
Now, doing that, replacing that coping and everything up there, does that affect the roof at all? Because we don't need a new roof for a little while, correct?
Then we just.
So that roof was replaced 7 years ago by a company.
So we have a while.
Yes, and then we had a second company come out and have to fix a lot of the errors that company made 7 years ago.
Yeah, that
Is
was
there
not
any-
too long ago, wasn't that?
That's why I want to
Yeah,
make
so
sure, I
that
don't
was-
want
That
to.
was
Like-
about 5 years ago.
So I'm saying, roofing problems, shouldn't there not be any problem with the roof?
Is there a
So,
warranty?
There is no,
so.
I know, right, yeah, like,
Yeah, so-
obviously.
so.
There is though, I like that one.
That company has not been allowed to bid on any of our roofing projects since
Okay,
that, 7 years
so there
ago.
was a problem, they did a bad job, and that's what we're doing.
So there's no warranty for
Possibly.
their work?
No, possibly,
Okay.
it's possible.
This top right picture,
Are you on page 5?
On what page?
oh yeah, sorry, page 5.
Yes.
So that's, I mean, this is all a mess, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
So just to put it into perspective, in our opinion, I mean, so you guys, you had a roof pre the roof that you just did, which was a spray foam roof. If you want to get the most riled up you can possibly get me on spray foam roof. Because those were run around, they were put in 20 plus years ago, maybe even 15, depending on when you did it. There was companies running around talking about this great product. They go around and they spray foam everywhere. Like, think great stuff, and then kind of like a topping of like something that's supposed to be waterproof. The problem with it is it was just like this continuous spray, and you're just doing this everywhere. Once water gets under there, you can't fix it because you don't know where it is, and it also actually traps water in because they didn't ever tear off the old roofs. So like you have water in between roofs, and then eventually water's gotta find a way, and it finds a way. So you guys corrected that problem from that roof, and whoever did that, I'm not criticizing them that much. It was very cost effective for the warranty that you got at the time. That's why a lot of districts did it. Unfortunately, there aren't really foam roof companies that exist anymore. You can't get warranties on them. I had one that was 7 years old, and they can't even call the company. It doesn't exist. You can't even find anybody else to do it. So when it comes to tearing it off, it's a lot, because like you're tearing off 2 roofs, it's about this thick versus, you know, insulation that's this thick. We're talking like super thick stuff. So what you're seeing on this should be like clay tile looking, this stuff right here on the lower left side, that's old spray foam that was never scraped off. So like when I do it, we scrape it off or we get rid of it if I were to do a roof. So what you've got is different situations, and then obviously the picture on the top right, you can see the amount of caulk that was in the lower right. The left is where probably one of the roofers came back and just kind of tried to put something in there, that spray foam on top of it that they were trying to tie into. So it's almost like painting over bad paint. Does this make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to relate to
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
worried about, if you're replacing all of that coping and everything, like, what other can of worms is that going to open with
So-
our roof? I don't wanna get to where we're we need another $400,000 roof now because, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying, and I don't think you need that. So like, if you look on page 4, this is just an example, and you have this in other places. But you see how they ran the roof up there, and then they run a nailing hedge into it?
Yeah,
And that's what's holding your roof up, right? Like, think about coming up like this on a parapet wall. That's what's holding your roof right along here. Well, in certain areas with like the old spray foam and stuff, what they nailed into isn't holding because there's nothing left to hold. You got brick that's deteriorated because moisture got in there with the spray foam, or at some point, it's just gone. Like it freeze thawed, it's gone. So it's like It's nailing into something, like think old plaster, right? With old plaster that gets brittle, not the good hard stuff. Think of that is my best example. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut back the roof. We're gonna tie into the roof because we need a seam because you can't stretch the roof. We're gonna cut back into it and we're gonna have the roof wrap up and around this so that it's on top. And then you put a metal cap on top of that. So that you don't have the opportunity like where that is going, where caulk has been added at some point. That is where water can be coming in too.
So just for clarification, you're not, so we're using the word roofing problem. This isn't a remove and replace a brand new roof where this is a,
Kind of seam
there's
issue.
issues around seams on said roof that need to be addressed and fixed.
I call it a parapet issue. Parapet, which is the elevated part on the roof. So you got a roof, flat part of the roof, parapet, cap,
Word of the day.
parapet issue. So we're gonna cap all of this. around.
Yeah.
So it's not the roof per se.
It's
It
not
is
the
a-
roof per se as a
It's
whole.
the,
Okay, so then I have a flip question.
Here's your
So,
Yes.
So it's how the roof is attached. It's kind of like, I think about it like a tent, and it flows pitch. And you
I
wrap the
think-
tent around those
You
things,
think
you got a
seam,
pitch.
you're kind of right.
yeah. that's
Yeah,
what
I
thought.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
I
my
just wanna
other
make
question
sure.
would be, okay, so
The
if
roof
we
is fine,
do
it's
fix
just the
this,
attachment to the
when
roof.
we
Which I went
have
through,
to
yeah.
replace the roof here in a little while, are we gonna have the other issue where we may damage that to replace the roof?
No, because actually when these caps are on here,
Uh-huh,
if you had already had the cap, they take them off
okay.
and then they run the roof back up the way we are doing it this
Okay,
time,
okay.
and then they put the cap down.
I just wanna make sure we're not doing work to have to redo work to redo work, again, you know, it's just some endless cycle. Like,
Yeah, and your roof, I mean, it's got issues where it connects to the
Yeah.
building, as you were
Okay.
mentioning there. But as a whole, you don't have issues at other places.
No,
right?
it's
You don't
not
have leaks
leaking or
in the middle of
anything,
your
no.
School or anything, so.
Right, there's not
You've
leaks
got a
anywhere
7-year-old
upstairs.
roof that probably has a 20-year warranty on it, so
Yeah.
you got 13 years, but the way they attached it to your building
Is the
is not
issues.
the way we feel it should have been attached
Okay.
based off of your building.
So the roof itself is good, it's just how it's attached that we
Right,
need
that would be
to
my
change.
And you can't stretch a roof because it's already to here, you can't stretch
Yeah.
rubber. You gotta, that's why we gotta, well, you can stretch rubber, good
Yeah.
point, I like that. I hope that was on camera. But you can't, like, if you pull it, you're gonna pull it from somewhere else, that's why we
Yeah.
gotta cut a seam in, tie it into the roof,
Okay.
and then we run the cap
Like an
over.
extension almost.
Yeah, an extension would be a good way to put it,
Okay.
yeah.
So
We should fix it, okay.
do we or
You
do
decided
we,
that.
do we or do we not have some type of warranty on the roof existing right now?
No. So what, the spot you're at there, so that roof was put in, I think, Brad's second year or Brad's third year, my first year.
We did,
Okay.
yeah, we did so
It
many
did.
roofs back then. Like,
Correct. So
Yeah.
at that time, I remember the company that was involved came out and addressed it, I assume as he just said, with a bunch of caulking. The portion that was the issue was not the warranty issue, is what I understand from my predecessor. And so finally, we got a different company out here to just kind of clean up the issues that we were having.
I just wanted to make sure that if we touch a portion, because sometimes when you touch a portion of a roof or something like that, that could void
Yeah,
a
this is not.
previous warranty or
yeah,
do some kind of
This is not a
removal
company
work or
we,
something
we
to that.
used since then,
Okay.
so I would guess if you called them and said, hey, can you come out now, they would probably tell you to kick sand because they don't have a good relationship with us.
That's fine.
This is not the company who's done the high school roofs or
No.
the existing elementary roofs everywhere else.
Okay, but that's it, yeah, I did wanted to make
So,
sure.
speaking of, have we got any other assessments to try to confirm one way or?
So that would be a conversation I'll have once Mr. Ingstrom leaves.
Got it.
All due respect to Mr. Ingstrom, but I think it'd be fair to both companies if I provide additional.
Understood.
Okay, so, and then what would be your, timeline of your plan over your books and all that?
Honestly, I'm not too worried about the timeline. You've got time to think about this, you've got time to make a decision on this. I know some people come in here and will pressure you and say you need to do a contract and move forward, but the other thing, just so that you know, these are all actual hard numbers, these aren't budgetary numbers. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about the drop ceiling potentially going down, but these are numbers, we've already had contractors walk this, we've had contractors that could do this work over the summer with no problem. If we sign a contract in January, February, we're still good. Getting into March, I'd be a little concerned. April, I still think I could do it in April, but I wouldn't love doing it at that point, just because you want to
Yeah,
be
look
there.
out, get better.
But there's no pressure like, hey, you guys need to make a decision tonight. That's not coming from me. It's, we get numbers, we do all the legwork beforehand. We're not looking for you to sign a contract and then do the legwork later, once we know it. Like, we consider this the cost of doing business and we're at risk. So if you don't move forward, then I guess we had them out here and we looked at it, but we also work with a lot of different companies that want to look at work with us. It's not, make sure that we're under contract, make sure you've already paid us some money, then we'll do more work. That's, I think, the difference between us and certain other companies that are out there as well.
You said you have your own people, you don't contract out, or you do contract out?
We do contract out,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and we've got people here, but that being said, what I will tell you is if there was somebody that maybe we didn't engage and you guys wanted us to engage, because I know you guys have, excuse me, asked about that in the past with like HVAC when we were doing that, and we have reached out to certain ones, but some don't want to take on the work of this size, you know, like you guys have a really good HVAC maintenance company that I don't think they by any means wanted to take on the full-blown HVAC of what we did, you know, over those past summers. Same thing with like roofing and tuck pointing and things like that. If you had somebody like a tuck pointer, for example, in town, because tuck pointing is,
Which we've used before. We have a masonry tuck pointer in town that we've used for smaller jobs, but
Yeah.
like you said, I don't know,
Yeah.
he would want or be
and I
interested
would-
in
I would
something of
engage
this
him.
scope.
If you guys said, you know what, engage him, I would reach out to him, bring him out, look at it, and if his number's cheaper, then your number's going down. But I know I can hold these numbers with companies that I've worked with in the past, and it's not gonna offend them, because they know that. Like, they know if there's a local person in town, most local boards want to keep those people
Yeah.
busy. I'm assuming they're non-union, right?
Yeah, no, he
Yeah,
owns his own
that's
business.
the factor sometimes, but we can get over that because, I mean, it's on tape, whatever, the VAs can hear it. But non-union and union don't always work together, but if non-union is in town and it's important to have them involved, usually the union guys accept that. Because it sounds like from who you're describing, they're not coming in to take over the world against
No.
all the union bricklayers. So they understand that, in my opinion, in my history of working in those.
And there's still prevailing wage being.
And they're still paying prevailing wage. I mean, you're following all the rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just, we may have to have the tuck pointer out here working, and when he's done, then we bring out the union roofers and the union window guys and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Anything more copies?
Oh, I think I got everybody a copy of it.
No, he printed it and wrote on everything for us.
And I got it in email, Scott, so I
Yeah,
can just go
we got
back.
an email too.
I know, an email for me is a big deal. As you know.
And they actually have a copy that has all the numbers added together for them.
Yeah.
Right, right. One of us has a calculator.
I totaled it up too, I wonder if we got to the same numbers.
I got 185 total.
That's how it's done.
Yikes.
All right, any other questions, thoughts?
No, thank you.
Well, thank
Sounded
you.
like you wanted me to leave so you can talk.
Well, not just because I want to talk to them, I just want you to leave in general.
It is currently
Oh.
snowing though, so they.
I know, and it of course brought me in on the side roads this time with the drifting still. so I'm gonna go
That's
on
how I
the-
You're gonna
figured
get
out.
that anywhere,
Not
it doesn't
listening to
matter.
GPS this time.
Yeah.
We're out of town.
All right,
Thank you so much.
everybody.
Thank you, sir. So, Total Roofing was they finally made it out today, but obviously with all the snow on top of it, they couldn't look at the outside. Total Roofing is the one that came in and did a lot of the actual roof section repairs that we had issues with the other company from. And so he sent Chuck out, Justin sent Chuck out, he's the one that's done a lot of the stuff. His opinion is, it's not the roof. Because if it was the roof, you would have leaking everywhere. You don't have that, it goes something along the edges. He said it is probably your scuppers and your coping that needs to be addressed. It's not the roof. And he goes, if you're chosen between a whole new roof and the tuck pointing, it would be the tuck pointing concern. Now, when he just talked to you guys, he said it's not the roof, it is the coping, it's the edges, it's the corners. So I'm wondering if through all this, it's the terminology, because you pointed to me and said seams. I wonder if it's terminology, because if I ask if we ask Chuck, is it the roof or is it tuck pointing? He has two choices, is he's gonna tell you tuck pointing, because tuck pointing, it's not the roof.
Yeah.
The roof's not leaking.
But I think of tuck pointing as brickwork. And
Right.
it's not brickwork, you know.
And Justin, and Chuck also said, who brought the architect out? I think he may have said it, they may have brought out, they brought out tuck pointers, who said it wasn't tuck pointing. Performance did bring out an architect. The other side of it, Performance did not get up on that second floor roof. GRP came out a second time with roofers and got them up on the roof, as you got pictures of. So, we're making decisions the best we can. If you're asking, if you're putting a gun to my head, which please don't ever do, because we're in school, it's a tough determination. Now, he didn't say it was the roof, so that makes me feel a little better. It sounds to me like he understands it's not the roof. And it does sound like, because you pointed out the edges there, it does sound like that coping could be the issue. And that's what Chuck said today. It's coping, it's, I want to say scuppers. It's coping, it's scuppers. It's not the flashing is not the problem.
But there's also a big difference between their D and E,
Right.
because it's just that small area, so that adds up to 60 something, 60. And then their second part, which is 300. But that's why he says, I'm guessing if you read that, they're wanting to do the tuck pointing, the copers and everything of the entire building other than the new addition. And that's why I kept asking him, is this all that needs it? Like, are we only, so he's only wanting to do what is bad. Like, if it needs fixed, wanting to fix it. So I'm guessing that's the difference, is we're only going to fix the problem, we're going to fix it all. Just so it's all the same,
Well,
except the new
no.
addition.
So again, if I'm gonna hold up these two, so you guys don't have this one. A, B, and C,
Well, I have that one.
so A, B, and C is the project that you're looking at.
Yeah,
Okay? On Performance, and I'm sorry, I can pass this around if you
Just
don't
the
have
first
it.
one.
It's just the first one.
the top one.
So those, again, as I said, it's kind of, it's oranges and tangerines. Now, it's no longer a roofing problem, it's the cupping and it's the scuppers on part C versus tuck pointing in addition to. So, and I added the numbers, so it's really A, B, and C versus top portion. The second part of this is they're saying to do the remaining first floor really is what you're looking at, minus 2000's addition, which is the fourth and fifth grade hallway, is that bottom number.
Uh-huh.
They are saying for D and E, the only problems that they saw are in here, and I think E is that big wall, which we can't figure
Yeah.
out which wall it is.
But
Or
It's
the
the
west wall.
west
It's a creek
wall.
It's gotta be the west
Where
wall.
the
It's
creek
the west
is.
wall.
Yeah, it's gotta be the
It's
west wall.
For sure the
That's
west
the only
wall.
one
Yeah,
that
because
doesn't
the
have-
But that's
building
it.
has
So
beach
they're
and
saying
kindergarten.
just
The other
fix
side's the
the
entrance.
issues.
Yep.
The
And they're
softball
just
field is
saying,
glass.
we're already
So
doing
it's
it,
the-
just
Might
fix
as
it
well
all.
do it.
That's the
Well,
big
they're
price
giving the
difference.
option to
Yeah.
just, to do it all, not necessarily that we have to do it
Yeah,
all.
but I wouldn't understand, I
Yes.
want everyone to understand that's the difference, like, we,
It's a-
A, B, and
it's a
C,
big
and the
dollar.
top one, we have to make a decision no matter what.
Correct.
The next part, okay, do we want to fix where the issues are found that we need to do it? Or do we need to be like, we wanna fix that and all of it so we don't have future issues?
And I think if you wanna do the other, the big wall, which is that, was that page 7, guys? I think this, I would have to confirm with him, I think this is E.
Okay,
Again, that's my
Yes.
guess.
yeah.
And then I
Well,
think.
no, no, it's D because it says south side tall wall portion of the
Oh,
building.
okay,
So it is D,
that's D,
yeah.
and then
And
E,
then E is.
E must be
E
that
includes
other,
south-
south wall courtyard, I thought he said it was a south wall.
E must be,
If
8.
if it's the courtyard, yeah, that's what
Yeah,
kindergarten
that's
is.
8.
Yeah,
So E is
That is
8.
south,
so yeah, that's where the kindergarten is.
yeah.
So E is 8
And
and
then it's-
D is 7.
So they just have their,
It would be, does
South
he mean the north?
Page 8.
Where the softball field is,
So-
or does he mean the kindergarten?
I have to get, so
Just look at the pictures.
Scott didn't come
Just
on and
look
take
at
the
the
pictures,
pictures.
I'd have
No,
to ask
courtyard.
clarification.
The courtyard, not the.
Well, this
he
number,
doesn't- He doesn't have a picture of that. Oh, no.
page 8, like above those windows is a bad problem.
Yeah.
Like that
Yes.
needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Yes.
What window?
Which I'm guessing is what
And that
he's
is-
saying is E.
So that's E.
That's what he's
Page
calling the
8.
courtroom.
Is this the kindergarten room then? Because that's the
So,
courtyard.
It would've been nice
I promise I'm
if
thinking.
you would've,
So then he's correct, it's the south wall.
like, this
look
is
into
E.
it. Look
this
It
is-
doesn't matter.
If you did it
If
on
we
his
know that's
pictures.
the $11,000
Yes.
that needs fixed.
Yes.
Doesn't matter where the verbiage is. That's why I like the photo, because he's showing us, yes, we want that fixed.
But what
I
I'm
don't care
saying-
where you call it.
It would have been nice, it would have been nice,
Yeah.
this is option E.
Yeah.
To, on there, this is
And
option E.
7 is,
I
The
think
big
D.
wall. D. 7 looks like it's D. And 8 is E.
8's E.
So 7 is D and 8 is E.
So that would be the
I thought
second
this was
decision we
getting
would end
added
up
together
having
for
to
A, B,
make,
and C.
would be,
Okay, I was like,
just A and B.
do you wanna fix
this is A, B,
where
and
it's
C.
bad?
Okay. I was
Do you wanna be proactive and fix it all?
I know, and then.
But that's secondary. The first one, we have to figure out
Okay.
for sure the windows.
Is D
The windows are the original project.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
I-
instead of just
if
doing.
you
So
want
you have to make
I just-
what?
I
This is
just,
just
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I just think that if you do, obviously you have to do the windows, right? You might as well do the tuck pointing too right away, because if it's gonna leak in from an outside in,
ruin them, yeah.
then you're gonna have all kinds of other problems again, right?
So then the question becomes, is it, you said tuck pointing, is it a tuck pointing or is it the coping?
It's all of that.
Well, how they
Yeah.
have
It's
it
the
labeled
coping.
as.
It's all,
yeah.
like you
Right.
said, I think it's easier for us to understand, it's the seam, is seams
Yeah.
on the top.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
they're gonna
what,
extend it, I know exactly, they're just gonna like lap it over that.
which is what GRP
Which-
is suggesting.
Yeah.
Right, because, like, when I was up there, when we were up there with Nate, like, you can see on the edges, like in the, when you go down the stairs, like, there's water issue going down the stairs, like in the corner.
That's
Like,
the
you
north
can-
side.
You can see it dripping a little bit. The other room, was there a problem over on the other side? And they had to replace the floor or something?
So yeah, that was, that was the first time we found an error with the roofing issue from that last company. Water got
And it buckled.
Water got in, we found out where it got in through because of one of the
Yeah.
issues there. So we had to replace Stephanie Lofton's flooring. So yeah,
Okay.
but, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so are they talking about the same thing? Do we know that for sure?
So yes and no.
I don't think they are.
That's what, they're both addressing the issue with potential water getting to,
Right.
get on the edge, but they're addressing it in their own way.
They're
I
using
believe
different
performance
verbiage.
is saying you need to fix the bricks in the brick, which is the tuck pointing,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that GRP is saying you need to fix the capping
The seam.
and the
More.
seams.
Yeah.
You said more?
I think more, I feel like they're saying we need to do more than they're saying.
GRP. What's it
Which
do
was
more?
today.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
Agreed.
GRP
Yeah.
is, yes, is saying that we need to do more
Well-
to the roof to fix it than. I forget
Yeah,
the name of that
performance
company.
is
Yeah,
thinking it's
Performance
more.
is just saying you're adding something and done,
These dudes went on the roof.
yeah.
That's,
I-
yeah,
I
that's
kinda
kind of.
like
That's,
they went on
that's
the roof.
Yeah.
too, the assessment, like.
Like a
Nobody else
back
went on the roof.
I'm just trying,
Right.
these aren't apples, that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say, they're not the
No,
same.
no,
yeah.
that's why I said it's like oranges and
Yeah,
tangerines.
yeah.
Like, they both are trying to solve a problem, but they did not
see
come
it,
at it
they
the
view
same
it
way.
differently, yeah.
But I feel like GRP got a better,
Overview.
Because
Overview, yes.
exactly
Yeah.
what he said, they came out and they did a true
And looked.
assessment with the people who make the repairs, not just someone who does an overview
Yeah.
analysis of the entire project. So that's,
and these are hard numbers.
that
and
personally
not
makes me
budget
feel
numbers.
better. Well,
I feel bad with this one because it sounds like, it makes like I went to a general practitioner or I went to the doctor that specializes in each one of the areas. He went on the roof. Like, I could tell you if the roof is leaking just by looking at it, but I can't tell you unless I go up there.
Right,
It's a guess.
yeah.
Like, I kind of like this. I guess, and maybe I could have asked him, I just thought about it. What would they charge us to do tuck pointing on the entire building for GRP? Like, they're gonna tuck point and fix all these brick?
Oh, yeah, the difference,
I can
like,
ask.
Like, could he, because that really to me is.
because that would be our second decision. The
Correct.
first one we have to make on the windows, but maybe that is with more information, then we could compare their second number with theirs, because right now we don't have that number, we only have the partial.
well, is
So-
it,
Well, the other thing I'm sorry, Brandon, the other thing he might say there is,
Do we need
You-
it?
you-
You
Yeah,
don't
I
need
gave you
it,
that
I don't
number,
recommend
I've
it.
already done the walk around, it's
You don't
an
need
extra
it.
60 grand where you need it.
Okay.
well, cause
And
I
maybe
can
we
ask
don't.
him to do it,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can,
and maybe
yeah.
you don't need it, or he says you'll need it, but that's something you're gonna need in 3 or 4 years. Your roof will not leak on the seams anymore if you do all
But
of
that's
this.
it, if you get a cheaper deal, if they're already out there, they're already doing
Right,
it, they're already doing
right.
that, like you said, is it spend a little bit of more money
Now,
now,
but
so that we
not-
don't have to spend it in 5 years?
That's not a little bit more money.
I know,
No,
I
it's
know.
But will
But-
not doing
but-
the whole building cause us, like, is this gonna solve the problem where we can say in 3 years we'll tuck point the whole building because that's when we're gonna need it, but we won't have all these issues in these 3 years because we've done all these other repairs? Then we, I'm only
Or are
thinking
we
if they
putting
walk
money
the
towards
building.
something we really don't need to do right now?
Correct, like if
So
all of
that's
this,
how I
whatever
feel
he's
about
doing
it.
on the seams and fixing it fixes the problem, we can fix the brick that need to be fixed, but if the other brick is fine,
Fix the brick quickly.
ooh, too many tongue twisters. But if what we're doing is going to solve the problem, then we don't need to do the tuck pointing that's not necessary. Are we gonna pay to do tuck pointing that isn't gonna fix the problem, and in a year, we're gonna have the same issues in the building?
Well, and then me
Because you didn't
being,
fix the seams, I don't know.
because I gotta be the bad guy in this because that's part of my job. Money's not infinite. There's a
Correct.
finite amount of money, and I know it only sounds like, well, it's only 60, it's only 70, it's only $100,000
But it adds up
more.
and it's a lot.
Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, next year, guys, you're gonna have to do the roof at the junior high. If we do it in stages, which I'm gonna even that's 100 to 100 and a
Right.
quarter, 100 and a quarter. And now, we might be able to get life, health, safety funds for that, but
I just don't wanna not do something
Yeah.
that in a year, we're looking at both.
your
buildings.
CPI was 2.9%, and that's all I can increase revenue by. So I don't wanna get us back into a position where I'm fighting tooth and nail with every dollar we spend.
Okay.
This
Well,
has to,
and
this
it
has to be
doesn't seem-
addressed.
okay.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's the secondary thing that you guys are
Yeah.
debating. I'm gonna be the bad guy and say I don't recommend it. Maybe in 3 years, when we kinda, we
little
have,
better.
you know, the bonds are kinda down the line a little bit, I have the roofs replaced, and now we can go back to, hey, Jack, how can we allocate this $100,000 that you kinda hold off to the side every year? We still have the boilers to address at the junior high in the next coming years.
I just
That's gonna
wanna
be at least
start
$100,000.
getting in the
Yeah.
future to where we're being more proactive and less reactive.
Yes,
Because
oh,
I
I
feel
100%
like
agree.
my entire, since you've been
Well-
at this school and since we've been on the board, that's what we're constantly doing. We're having to react to issues.
And we
And I just
still are.
wanna make positive decisions for the district, that we can be proactive and we don't have to be reactive because that costs us more money. That's all I'm getting at, is
But at
spending.
the same time, we
Yeah.
don't want, we want to be fiscally responsible and not spend
Oh, no.
good money after things that really don't need
Yeah.
a repair.
I get
So,
it. That's why
yeah.
I made sure and I asked him, like, because it's a big difference between the two. Like,
Yes.
everything else is fine. This is all that needs, because that's fine. When they came, you kind of wondered at the time, like, oh my gosh, we need to do it all. Because,
Right.
they are also trying to get bids and jobs and money. I mean, it'll all look the same. I don't care. I'm not up there. As long as it's safe. That's how, So we do, for the committee, we do have to make a recommendation to the board. We won't make a decision tonight because it goes to a board meeting and that's when we vote. But in the committee, we do have to make our recommendation today for what we would, what? We don't have to.
Respectfully, you
We
don't.
have to.
I mean, this is gonna be posted onto the YouTube and, community can talk about
Oh, yeah.
it. You guys can go back and talk to your constituents, kind of get their perspective on things. I would say this is gonna be a January decision by this
Okay.
board. I wouldn't wanna put it in December in front of you guys because that's a very quick turnaround. Both guys told you January is perfectly fine.
Were you concerned that they're talking about two different things? Do we need a third person to bridge the gap? I don't know, like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I mean, honestly, in my personal opinion, we've worked with GRP, they have done our district well. We've seen the difference with someone coming out and doing a true assessment of it, so I would lean towards going with a company who did that work up front. Like you said, that's cost of business to do that analysis and making sure that the job is gonna go right, instead of saying, this is what we think you need to do, and then once you hire us, we'll get the experts out. That's a little bit of a difference. So I would feel more confident in the people who have already kind of assessed what needs to be done, rather than, because then that's when you get the, oh, well, this,
Now we're up
now we
here,
found this, now that we've opened this wall, or we've opened this ceiling, we've found this additional issue, and then that's where it gets, down into that, that rabbit hole.
I
Right.
agree.
Me
I'm
too.
leaning more towards GRP because
What do you think, Jack?
What do I think? I think it's a very expensive project, no matter what we do. Here's where I was at today, because when Chuck tells Nathan, and again, Nathan couldn't make it today, he's
Yeah.
sick, so I apologize for that. When Chuck says it's not your roof, if it was a roof, you would have leaks everywhere. It's the edges. Well, then Scott comes and says, he really did say it's not your roof, it's, as you said, it's the seams, it's the capping, it's the coping, which is exactly what TRC said, it's the
Our P
coping.
word? You're not
I'm sorry?
using our P word.
Pop it?
Or puppet?
Parapet.
Parapet.
I
It's a
can't even
parapet.
remember.
Did you write it down?
It's a parapet.
Parapet. So to me,
Church.
that sounds like what TRC was probably describing in
Just
the
using
aspect
different
of.
Yeah,
Words.
so your,
Correct.
your parapet is the portion of the roof, so you got your roof and your roof is flat. And then you have your parapet, which is the portion that comes up above your roof. And so, yes, you need to seal it, up the side, and that is what GRP is looking to do. Extend that roof, seal that area, and then put that coping over it.
And that might be what when they're doing aluminum coping system,
Yep.
that may be what performance is calling their coping system.
Yes.
So they're not calling it parapet, but see how it says coping system, in their mind, it could be the same
It
exact
could
thing.
be the same thing.
They're just using different verbiage, which is kind of, and us not being roofers, not knowing,
Right.
like.
Now, the other thing, to finish my comment to you,
Sorry.
Brad, is, no, it's fine. Scott said these are your hard numbers, so you know,
Yeah.
but he didn't mention change order. So that is something we'd have to dig into with Scott when it comes down to this project. Now, if we're doing exactly what we asked you to do, no change orders, we're fine. These folks had said, also no change orders, but once they give you a number, it's the number. I need to confirm with Scott and with GRP that once they tell me it's, when all three are added together, I don't wanna say the number, just in case.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, unless I, or you seven, or you six, come in and do something, unless I say, hey, I want you to do this, that's the only change that we can have. It's
Yeah.
not oh crap, we tore back the wall.
You can add
and-
so much more to it.
Yep, and now we
right,
gotta
yeah.
replace this, and then, well, Jack, it's part of business. No, it's not. It's,
Yeah.
your guys made that mistake. It's not our responsibility. That would happen, these folks have told you that will not happen, because once they give you this number. I have not heard him actually say this. I'll talk to Scott and actually have him say that and put it in writing if that's the case.
Yeah.
That's my big concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because once it starts tearing back things that have been wet, a lot of damage could be existing.
Because that is true too, when you add them up, they're already barely more expensive, but they are. And if you start adding in more, it adds up quick.
So,
But to answer your question,
as far as like D and E, if you leave it out this time,
I don't know that we can leave out D and E. Now,
I don't think so.
Their,
This is what I
their
was gonna
bottom,
ask.
their bottom part, that big number of doing
Correct.
everything, no.
So I
But
don't
looking at those
know-
photos, I don't know that we can leave out D and E.
I don't know the
I think
local
we have to
tuck
do
pointing
all
person you're
four.
talking about, but I'm sure. like,
You do, I'll tell you.
I probably
You know.
do know who it is. Like, do you think, I don't know the person, like what they charge, but say we waited until to do that in summer 2027. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
just-
yeah, yeah.
And just had that person say, hey, they did this needs to get done.
yeah.
Maybe they could do it.
You could find independent you can do an RFP and have masons come out.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like,
Yeah.
I really do think it could be cheaper than that, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, because the subcontractor is gonna give you their price versus
Yeah.
if you hire a
That's
company.
true, I
Sure.
didn't think about that.
Yeah,
It does
there's
for
that,
you.
there's that little bit of a,
And they add on 10 or 20%.
Right,
Yeah.
what?
so I'm
And
just
that's true,
thinking like,
since that's only those
Yeah,
little
couldn't
areas
just
and
do a
little
side.
right, it's not like the
Yeah.
whole thing,
Yeah.
it's just like, okay.
fixing what, the little areas you can
Like,
fix.
you know, you look at it like, yeah, I could do that, you know what I mean, or, oh my gosh, I can't do that, it's too big.
So if we're looking at the numbers with the two companies, the only other thing to make sure I'm understanding, so for the company that came out previously,
Performance?
With
their
half.
first number includes this.
No.
No,
No.
it doesn't.
That's the bottom.
It includes
Includes,
this.
But
Yeah.
not,
But not
Is
this?
this one?
No.
No, because that is not part of, that's a different
Yeah.
part
It's
of
like
the
on the
building.
bottom
Yeah.
part, right?
We need
That-
to do
It
that,
doesn't
yes.
include this picture?
So,
But
That-
that's what
no,
Brad was
'cause that
saying,
is the
maybe instead
second-
of even adding it on
that
there,
is their
we
second
do that as
number.
a second, or a different job,
Right, but
different
that's
person.
not,
Here's my
that's,
question then.
we don't have that line itemed out for
No.
this.
What
Because they said
problem
everything.
is this causing a problem? Because if they're not gonna fix it, if it,
so that is a
Why would it be
completely,
secondary?
that is a completely different part of the building.
Has
It's a
nothing to do
That's
with
not
our
the roof.
window.
It's a
It's a
problem.
problem, but that is not part of the second floor windows.
Right.
That's a
Which is what the
completely different
project
part of the
is.
building. We
Like,
didn't
that's a
have,
bad problem.
Yeah,
That's-
but- They're not
And my
addressing
thought is
windows everywhere.
If this is a big issue, why wouldn't that be in your original, like, hey, you have
Because
all
we
these
didn't bid
issues.
them for the project, we told them we
They
want
just
a
saw
bid
that and
for
said, hey.
the
Yeah,
second floor
yeah.
windows.
Right.
They just went and did above and beyond,
Right,
because
they
we
did an
asked them to look
entire
at tuck
assessment,
pointing.
yeah.
That's like
and
if
they
I
did a
asked you
whole
to replace
assessment.
the
Okay.
parking lot at the elementary, and while they're at the high school, like, you have a 5-foot hole here, you probably should fill that in. Well, why did the other company do the 5-foot hole? Well, it's
You
not
didn't.
part of the scope that we
Yeah.
asked you to look at, it's just part of the, they were walking around.
That would be a change order.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That would be a change order.
I guess if we're gonna, if we're gonna do all this work and fix the building, and then we're not gonna do this part, like, are we really gonna fix all the
Can you
problems?
just have somebody else just?
That's
That's
what Brad
what
was
Brad
saying.
just
said.
That's a,
Yep.
that's a
Even
second
this.
job. We'll bid that out with someone
Yeah.
else, we'll have that
I
done with
think it
someone
could
else.
be cheaper.
Yeah,
with
I
somebody
think
local.
you can do that.
Oh, I
Say,
guarantee.
Fix these
I
windows.
know
That's-
you could.
That's what I'm saying, I think ABC,
Yeah.
if you're going with GRP, is what you do, and then I like what Brad's saying.
Yeah.
In a absolute worst case scenario, you bid it out, they're more expensive, you come back to and say,
Say,
hey,
hey, can you add this?
Can
on?
you
Yeah.
do this?
Yeah.
can you
blah, blah,
do
blah.
this in a year?
Yeah,
Well,
or would that be higher because we're doing it separate?
Well,
But
I'm
that,
saying
we
have
could,
them
we
give you a
could,
cost.
but that's it too, we could also just bid that out, we could say,
Yeah.
we need this tuck pointer, this masonry work done for bids. But if it's, what's the threshold for bids? You only need bids if it's over 50.
35, isn't it? 25.
35?
35.
Oh, 35.
It might, I don't even know that it would be over where you need bids.
Well, but look at that, that right there is,
Well, if you
No,
have,
you're looking, yeah, but
No.
that's also this company, that's not a private individual that's local.
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
if,
I still can't believe that it's gonna be.
yeah, if Jim's tuck pointing
Yeah.
comes out in a year, or in the summer and says, man, that's probably a $40,000 project.
Then we have to
Thanks,
bid it.
now we have to bid it. But if he comes out and says, you know what,
I do that for
that's
like
$30,000,
Yeah.
you guys would not have to bid it out, then you can.
Yeah.
Now,
And I don't know,
You
you
can't do
never
what's called
know.
string bidding, it's illegal, I know that state. You can't have them like, oh, it's 20 here, and it's 10 there, and it's 15 here, but I'm only charging them the 10. That's called string bidding, it's illegal.
But that's also, that's
Can we
something
get
that could
bids
be in
on
the
this
spring.
before we make our decision on that, so we can compare the cost?
No, we're not doing that with the company, that's
So-
Dini, we're looking at
So-
A, B, and C.
No, I know that,
From
I'm
the
saying if we're gonna
independent
have this
person
done,
before.
compare if a
Before.
company would
Yeah.
do it versus an individual.
Because they might be the same, and why not just, well, I don't know.
Yeah, because
we don't have the
we're-
money though.
Or do a local,
Or do
just so
we
we, and to coordinate the work, because if we wanna do it and we can put it on this year's budget, we can coordinate the work with this. But if it's gonna be pricey, but we're gonna do it, we can push it to an,
Well, that would be
I
on next year's
I
budget,
would
we
say
would
if
just
you're
make
going
it
to
like
start
July.
individualizing tuck pointing, there's tuck pointing that can be done at high school as well. I would probably have them wrap up into a tuck pointing
for
project
everything.
for the multiple buildings. And like, these are the things that we really need, yeah.
Okay.
That'd be my opinion on how you
Well,
handle
if we've got
that.
more to do, might as well.
Yeah,
because, I mean,
instead of like,
it's
this
a
is
good
a
deal,
window
we're gonna
project,
do-
make
yeah.
it, hey, we need a tuck pointing
And they may give us
masonry
a better
project.
deal, knowing we're gonna give them 2 versus 1.
Right.
And it could be where they do it in different, you know,
Section-
one
yes,
month, 1
yeah.
month, 1 month, or whatever it is, separate like that, but might as well get people out to look at all of
I
it.
mean, I can buy Menards caulking a lot cheaper than that.
They got that masonry caulk, it's pretty good.
I know.
We use it at our house, it's good.
I repaired my, my fireplace with it, so all right.
Okay,
Anything else?
no, so we need to think about whether we want A, B, and C, or the top one.
So, but again,
And then we have
that-
till January to like
so
kind of,
looking at performance's number, they have tuck pointing.
Yes.
Looking at GRP's number, they do not have tuck pointing, and since performance didn't line item each thing out as GRP did, we really, like, if we said, hey, we're gonna hold off on all the tuck pointing, you know, we're not comparing numbers to numbers.
well, this is just only tuck pointing the second floor wall area, so that is the D. So their bid does include D.
So, but again, the difference is
Yeah.
they are tuck pointing that second floor.
Yeah.
They are
Doing the
Parapet.
parapeting it.
Parapeting.
And they're both coping it,
Parapeting.
but it's, one's addressing parapet, the other one is addressing tuck pointing.
Yeah.
That's the big difference.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
probably the
oh,
significant price difference.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I think it's fair.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, anything for other?
You saw the air quality results, I got those today, I sent that along the way.
Saw the email.
They came back in and they tested, the rooms are, I think, 17 and 23. So they are just, they're
Within,
very, very good shape.
Sweet.
I have a couple others.
Oh, couple.
Can I ask a question
Go for it.
first though about this? Would doing the work that we're going to hopefully do help with any of these issues with some of these classrooms? Are those connected by any way?
You talk about air quality and that?
Yeah. Like some of the issues that they've kind of popped up here and there with this?
So the issue that came up is directly related to the fact that it was stagnant moist air, doors closed, and
Okay.
so it is something that we're easily gonna be able, not easily, I shouldn't say easily, that's the wrong
It's
word.
nothing to do with this.
It has
No.
nothing to do with this. It's gonna be addressed through,
Better procedures through the summer.
That-
Cleaning.
yep, and then the cabin,
That whole thing with the basement.
thank you.
Dehumidifier.
That's
Yeah, the
gonna help
dehumidifier.
out 100%.
That's gonna help pull that moisture that would exist there out, and then we're not going to close doors this summer. That's the other big thing.
I mean, it should help too.
Because
yeah.
the system is not a dehumidifying system, no matter how many times
It won't make
people
a
ask me,
difference.
it's not a dehumidifying system. It pulls in air, it's moist air, it shoots out moist air. Unlike our homes have a heating coil that it runs across, dehumidifies it, and then provides it to our homes. Mr. Schrader, what are your additional
Did
questions?
Mr. Hurley come out?
He was here Wednesday and Friday, because how cold it was, he didn't get it finished. He's supposed to be out here by the end of this week to finish that and then address some things at the junior high.
Thank you for that one. I'm tired of hearing about it. And then there's a
I would
leak
never
in the storage room at the junior high.
So
Did you hear about that?
I did.
Brad did.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
Yes. So again, as I said, we're trying our best to keep these roofs as good as we
Yeah.
can. But as Chuck has pointed out and Nathan's pointed out, I pointed out to you guys, we are at the very end of this life cycle. So we can
Because the
probably,
building's, what, 20 years old almost, ain't
it's
it?
20 years.
That's
So-
usually about, I mean,
So we can we'll be able to fix it. A lot of the problems you're gonna see right now is because it
Yeah, it's
snows
just-
up there, it heats up enough to melt
Yeah.
and then
It's
go
miserable
somewhere.
outside, yeah.
Yes.
and I wanna
So-
say the elementary roof, I think we patched for a couple of
Yeah.
years before it got replaced because we just didn't have the money
Sure.
to be able to do, you know.
Yes, so, yep,
And then-
we're aware of it.
There's rooms over there at the high school that have no heat. You hear about that one?
So,
There's kids wearing jackets, I've heard.
So-
oh, that's happened.
all due respect, I promise you, I know of all these.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. So what happened here is, so we are past the term of our warranty, which is a year out.
Of course.
IRC, ICT, right? Yeah, ICT is the company that is the computer-based company. The module that runs the whole system is bad.
Not sending air over there?
That is, so it's not sending air, it's not providing the heat that's required.
Yeah.
So they gave us the number was outrageous. So we asked Key West to look at that exact same, they're gonna come out on Friday and give us the actual number it would be. So it's being, we have, even though it's not 100% right, we have space heaters in those locations right
I
now.
was just gonna say
Do
what
not
you
tell-
have, yeah.
Yep, I understand.
And like I said, our kids being allowed to wear jackets too.
Oh,
I've heard,
1,000%.
yeah.
And Mike's looking at the possibility of, the problem is with the band room, you need to practice band in there, but he's looking at the possibility of moving them to, move to Pav's room, or move to Smolson's room, or move to, during those
During
class
periods.
periods.
Maybe Ms.
So-
Oakshire can do some more baking projects.
Yeah, or, yeah, turn on the ovens and open the doors.
So how was the turnaround time for that then to get fixed before we get back from break?
That is a question that Key West will answer for me. I'm thinking it's gonna be sooner than break. If they have the part and they can replace it, and it's less than $10,000 and I have to ask for permission, it's gonna get taken care of.
Thank you
Actually, if it's
for the other.
close to $10,000,
He'll call me and I'll
I'll
be
make
like,
sure you guys are
I'll
in
be
an
like, just blame it
emergency
on me, I'll do it.
situation.
Yeah.
Blame it on me, I
So
don't care.
it's the control panel that's broken?
It is something to do with the control
Do you know
systems, yeah.
what control system company they use?
ICT is the control
Oh,
system
okay.
company.
As
Yep.
long as it's not Johnson, because they're.
Oh. No, it's the, yep, it's something to do with
That's
that
all.
particular module. So ICT looked at it, yep.
Perfect. All right. Noting no other public comment, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Yep.
I remember that.
Opposed, none. Meeting adjourned.